Hey guys, welcome back to this edition of After the Smoke Clears. I'm Levi.
And I'm Mark, and we want to tell you guys about a really cool guy named Will and his green Ford pickup truck. This thing is beautiful. You want to stick around? Levi's going to tell you all about it. Don't go anywhere. It's coming right now. All right, Levi, we were out at the Lasalle County Streetcars car show on the old Ottawa Airport runway. And I can't remember how many cars were there. There was a bunch of cars there.
A lot.
We did this a few weeks ago. And we met a couple guys, and we met this one cool guy named Will Hoffman. And he had one of the coolest trucks that were there. Tell us about it.
1978 F-250 custom.
Yes.
Cool Ford truck. Jacked up, big wheels. He went through this truck bolt for bolt. It looks phenomenal. And it's got just a wicked paint job on it. Looks really nice. The kid is crazy passionate about his truck.
Yeah.
How you doing? I'm Will Hoffman, and this is my 1978 Ford F-250 Custom. Yeah, so I bought this truck about 6 years ago. I was heading to work one day, driving my dad's, truck. I didn't have my own vehicle. Saw this on the side of the road, and it was in my price range, amazingly, when you're a teenager. So I get the number down, call the guy, and literally 2 days later, I buy my first vehicle. So this is the biggest purchase I'd ever made at the time. I'd been saving up money, and so I buy the truck. And I didn't know a whole lot about, mechanics and everything, but I knew that these older vehicles, this is what you want to work on. And as I started to, clean this thing off, and that's when I started to realize how rust-free and clean this vehicle was. It turns out it's actually a West Coast truck. And so, yeah, no rust, a little bit of damage. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to restore this thing, So, come to find out, so this thing has a 1969 Lincoln 460 big block Ford in it. So these trucks, all these four-wheel drives, they actually you couldn't get a big block in them. So this is swapped in, which is, it's a rare, kind of thing, because you could only get like a small block in it back in the day, like a 400 is what this had. But the real cool thing is this is a 4-speed manual transmission, which Ford never allowed a 460 with a 4-speed in trucks. Up until like the 80s was the first time. So this actually has that, the original 4-speed transmission in it with a 69 non-smog big block 460 in it. It still has the original Dana 60 rear. It's got the Dana 44 front, locking hubs. The only real body work I had to do was the rear quarter. It was smashed a little bit, so cut that out, replaced it. But I mean, as you see, this is all 42, 43-year-old sheet metal on this thing, and there's little tricks like come to find out that the cab lights on this thing are actually from an old Peterbilt. You take it off, it says Peterbilt in it. So just little things like that I wanted to keep because a farmer who knows how many decades ago put that on there just for looks, and that's something I can't find anymore. But yeah, I mean, this is, again, I rewired the entire truck, literally looking through Google, thank the Lord for the internet and YouTube, or else I wouldn't have been able to do this. But yeah, rewired the whole thing, figured out how to do what engine work needed to be done. And yeah, and learned how to spread Bondo. I learned how to tap out dents, on this. And it's slowly, it took about 3 years to get it this good. But slowly, it's becoming, pride and joy. And there's just so many people that, they're like, man, I learned to drive in one of these things, or I drove this truck to the ground, and it just, you don't see them a lot anymore. So, it's every car show, there's someone, that this truck means something to them, And so it's been a pleasure, and I love it to death. And I tell them people all the time, like, there's room for my coffin back here, so I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. So it started in 2015. It's called Green Gem. So that green is Green Gem. Inside the dent is black, and that's called Tuxedo Black. It's an F-150 color, and then the cab is black. So it is a two-tone truck. But again, so this is a custom, so it's almost the base. That's why it doesn't have the trim. You know, there's not a whole lot of options, but it does have power brakes, power steering, and but yeah, I mean, it's got the good stuff where it counts, but definitely no air conditioning. You know, this is
that it's got the vent windows.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things you wish they'd come back with them, but.
Yeah.
I'm Will Hoffman. This is my 1978 F-250 Custom. I've had this truck for about 6 years now, and this is why I'm a truck guy.
So Levi, what was your favorite part of Will's truck?
So I'm not a huge truck guy, but you know what? I love that he loves that truck.
Yeah.
He is the epitome of being a car dude. He loves that truck. He loves everything about the Fords. He's had it for a long time. He got it when he was young. Mm-hmm. You know, it's really a cool truck. He has done such a great job modifying what he wanted to modify and made it the way that he wants it to be. And I dig it. Never been a Ford truck guy. I really like his Ford truck. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. And one of the things that I liked about it is that it's in such good condition now that when you look at it, it's just a beautiful truck. But he's not done with it yet. He's just going to keep going and going and going with the interior, the carpet. I mean, he's going to want to make this truck look absolutely perfect. It's a labor of love. It's not something that he's doing in a weekend. It's not something he's doing over a couple period of months. He's taking his time. He's doing it right. And when I really can't wait to see the whole thing when it's done. We hope we get the opportunity to do that. So. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Will. We loved looking at your truck. We loved interviewing you. You're a great guy, and we hope to see you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Will.